So the transfer season is upon us, which means that you won't be able to open a newspaper or click on a sports website without seeing the same tired old players linked with the same moves away. Bear in mind that most of it will be complete and utter but you probably know that already, seeing how Arsenal have apparently bid 100 million euros for Kylian Mbappe. So here's a shortcut. Here are 12 Premier League stars who probably will be on the move before September. I doubt Alexis Sanchez is going to be thrilled about the prospect of freezing his bollocks off with trips to FC Rostov on Thursday nights next season. Let's be honest, the man probably made up his mind to leave the club ever since the rest of his teammates committed career suicide on the Selhurst Park pitch 2 months ago. If he does decide that he's had enough of playing in front of fans who scream off on YouTube to get attention, or verbalise their feelings through the art of playing conversations, then could anyone actually blame him? He scored 30 goals last season, with the last one coming in the FA Cup final, even if it did come straight off the basketball court. So who would take him? Try every football club that exists, past, present or future, except maybe the one he walked out on 3 years ago. Bayern Munich are confident, reportedly offering him £275,000 a week. Chelsea and Man City are also interested, but it wouldn't be like Wenger to sell to a rival now, would it? With both Pablo Zappaleta and Bakary Sagna out the door, Man City need a right back, and fast. Otherwise they might be forced to put Fabian Delph right back, and that is a potential heart attack City fans do not need in their lives. Kyle Walker has been linked, with his relationship with Mauricio Pochettino apparently having broken down. He's a top player, but Spurs probably shouldn't be too worried. Kieran Trippier is one of the best crossers in the division, and they have an up-and-coming sensation in Kyle Walker-Peters. How very odd. Apparently Southampton have slapped a £70 million price tag on Virgil van Dijk. Considering they've been selling their best players since practically the dawn of time, you can't really blame the club for getting sick of it. Let's get things straight. Van Dijk is a fine centre half, but he'll be 26 next month, and he's played 55 Premier League games in his life. Who's stupid enough to step up to the plate with that kind of cash for such a relatively inexperienced centre half? Alright, of course. Riyad Mahrez has come out this week and declared that he wants to leave Leicester City for a bigger club to further his career. Maybe if he'd said that last season, you know, when he hadn't spent the previous 12 months scratching his arse and wishing he was anywhere else, only then people might actually have listened. If you're still hoping for Barcelona to come in for him, Christ above, have a word with yourself, lad. I might let you put out the cones of training, but other than that, it'll probably be a return to France for the lad. Or maybe even Arsenal, depending how desperate either party get towards the end. We've all been there. Alright, who or what is currently playing up front for Bournemouth? Because that is not the Josh King we all know and love. Love's a bit strong. King scored more goals last season than he did in his entire 7 seasons of professional football put together. Naturally, he's been linked with Spurs. Just wait for him to throw a Twitter tantrum, burn his bridges at the club, pile on the pounds, fail a drugs test, go to fat camp, sign for Stoke, and basically forget that the ball is supposed to go between the posts as opposed to over it every week. Sorry, Sido. Christ above, David, just hurry up and move, for Christ's sake. His on-again, off-again relationship with Real Madrid has sold enough newspapers to kill a rainforest in the last 2 years, and it looks like this summer is going to be more of the same. Real Madrid have just offered £60 million for the Spaniard, a few days before their own goalkeeper lines out in a Champions League final. Yeah, great confidence builder that, but Man United have rejected it. Apparently Jose Mourinho wants Rafael Varane. Swap deals rarely happen, but in this case, who knows? So in case you missed it, Arsenal are in the Europa League. Then again, considering they're busy taping 100 million bids for teenagers, I don't think they've even realised it yet. Mesut Ozil has 1 year left on his contract, and if he doesn't sign a new one, the club could be forced to cash in on him this summer. At 28 years old, does he really want to be playing in a competition full of unpronounceable nobodies and Champions League dropouts? Although worryingly for him, the only clubs to have registered an interest so far are Besiktas and Fenerbahce. Since Joe Hart last played a Premier League game, Manchester City have spent over 50 million on goalkeepers. Time will tell whether Ederson is an upgrade. He's played 37 top-flight games in European football. No. But Christ, Claudio Bravo is something else. I'm convinced if you put 5 of him between the posts, the ball would still find its way in. Anyway, returning from a loan spell at Torino, where the British media were forced to find an interest in the bottom half of Serie A for 9 months, he's back to square one and is looking for someone to take him in. Everton and Roma have been linked, but considering it's a World Cup year, it'll be interesting to see how low his standards drop. Man United seem to be getting into the habit of buying back players they've gotten rid of in the last decade. Seems like quite an expensive and ill-advised strategy, but sure, if it wins you Europa Leagues, who am I to question it? I'll be sure to keep you posted for the untimely return of Bebe. Don't hold your breath. Michael Keane is the latest one to be linked with a return, just 24 months after he couldn't get past Paddy McNair in the pecking order. He's had a fantastic debut Premier League season with Burnley, earning himself an international debut, and has thanked the club by telling them that he wants to leave as quickly as possible. If Daniel Sturridge was pouring himself a glass of milk, he'd probably cut himself on the bottle cap. We all know how injury prone he is. He hasn't managed over 20 league games in a season since the campaign where Liverpool nearly won the league. He has 15 Premier League goals in the last 3 years, the same as Peter Crouch. It seems Liverpool fans have finally lost patience with him. In a World Cup year, Sturridge will want first team football. It's the most pivotal crossroads of his career. Now, where do injury prone Liverpool strikers usually end up? Liverpool's Achilles heel last season, like it has been for years, was their defending. Too bad their most accomplished centre-back was involved in a relegation scrap at Crystal Palace. He was so good he was nominated for Player of the Season despite only playing 8 games. Or maybe that just shows how bad Palace were. Yeah, actually Alan Pardew was their manager for 6 months. Say no more. Saka has burnt bridges at Anfield and will likely never play for the club ever again. The only thing keeping him chained to Merseyside is the fact that the club are apparently holding out for more than £30 million. So it looks like Romelu Lukaku has 2 options this summer. Sign for the club who deemed him not good enough 3 years ago, or sign for the man who deemed him not good enough 3 years ago. Can't you feel the love? Yeah, me too, like a rusty spike. The Belgian has already said he's leaving Everton, sick of the fact that they're not in the Champions League. Don't know what he expected. Chelsea and Man United look to be frontrunners for his signature. Cheers for watching, lads. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, give it a share, and I'll talk to you in a while.